All right, today I want to talk about one of the things that can sabotage your success as an entrepreneur. And conversely, it can also sabotage your success if your friends are entrepreneurs. So if you want to have friends that are doing, businesses, right? So, and sometimes that's the same person, so it sabotages you twice, right? So let me talk about it. It's really simple idea. And I've noticed this with friends and also in myself. So, and I think I can help you to avoid a very big mistake that men make. Very big mistake. It's so simple too. Here's the thing is let's just let me give you an example. So your friend is coming up with an idea. Okay, so he's got a business idea. Whatever it is, he's going to get a patent on something, or he's going to import this, or he's going to do that. And this also goes to, whenever there's something that you do wrong, it's usually the other person is part of it too. So I want to talk about that too. So for example, let's say I have an idea for business, but I'm not quite confident in myself, not quite. Then what I might do is, and then you'll see this in yourself, just think back, if you've ever tried to start a business, you'll start to ask your friends to help, in the sense that, of course, your friends are going to help, of course. But, the ones that want to help and have time and all that. But you're going to want to do, quote unquote, partnerships, right, with everybody. Because you're going to be like, oh, we can do this together. And what that is for an entrepreneur is lack of confidence and lack of wisdom. Because I will tell you this right now, when you have something, when you have a good idea, that is your idea, okay? Of course, anybody can copy your idea, but it doesn't matter. That doesn't really affect you, okay? You still have, you could invent the wheel and somebody else could make a tire company, right? But you could have one of the biggest tire companies in the world. So that doesn't affect you. Somebody copies you. What I'm talking about is you have your idea and you're going to run with that idea. You have to own that idea and also own the fear that comes along with that. And you know what I mean? You're going into the unknown, right? You're taking a fucking spaceship to Mars. You have no idea what the fuck is out there. And your fear is causing you to reach out for people to help you. So you're saying to your friends, hey, can you partner with this? Can you help me with this, right? And then what happens is your friends will naturally, it's complicated for your friends because one, they want to help you because they're your friend, right? But then also too, here's one of the biggest problems I found as an entrepreneur. I tell you, this is one of the biggest problems, is that everybody, not everybody, but most men secretly want to be an entrepreneur, right? And it doesn't matter if they're like the president of General Motors, they want to do something, right? And so when you tell them unclearly that you have an idea, okay, you're not owning it, right? You're not saying this is my idea. Here's what I'm going to do. You're saying like, hey man, are you excited about this? Because if you are, like, help me or find somebody else. If you're not clearly delineating those things, you're playing into their own greed and kind of laziness. Because see, most people want to be entrepreneurs, but they don't want to carry the burden of fear. Okay, the burden of the total unknown, right? And total decimation, right? And then the entrepreneur, he also is afraid of it. So he's like, fuck, I don't want to do this. So I'm going to ask other people to burden that for me, take that burden. Okay, but what always happens is, here's what always happens is it leads to destruction of everything. Most business ideas, 9 out of 10 fail anyway, but so it doesn't really become important. The problem is this, some business ideas do succeed. Okay, so that's when the real decimation comes, because you're telling your friends, hey, you can have part of this business. And your friends, they have that, like I said, one little smidgen of wanting to be an entrepreneur. And they also, everybody's got a little bit of greediness. We all do. And you're playing to that. And you're putting that out there. It's like leaving money on the table, at the park, right? Not everybody's a thief, but you're definitely tempting that when you leave a bunch of cash. Same thing with food and dogs and, treats and kids. And, you're leaving it out there. And then you're just kind of like, you're tempting somebody for no reason, right? It's like having a bunch of fucking super hot guys in your house when you're not home, and your wife is there. It's just dumb. It doesn't help anything. Everybody knows there's human weaknesses, right? Don't make it impossible or almost impossible to say no. Don't sabotage yourself, right? So here's the thing. As an entrepreneur, you're scared. So what you need to do, here's the way to handle it. You can see what happens when it succeeds, because what happens is this, is the entrepreneur usually, right, thinks, he changes his mind all of a sudden. He forgets. This is what I've seen so many times. He forgets what he promised his friends. Okay? Now, he promised his friends before all his hard work, before all his luck, before his uncle set him up with a deal with Walmart, before, you know what I mean? Before. And he just promised his friends sitting in the garage. And then he forgot about it because there was never a contract signed. And the friends, even if it was 10 years ago, they remember that promise. And most people are not entrepreneurs, so they don't understand the weakness of entrepreneurs and the absolute sheer fear that you go through when you're just panicking and asking for help, right? What you need to do is this. Here's what you need to do. If you want to be a friend, and this is very similar to my wingman rules too. I have some great wingman rules. If you ever, want to do anything with a man, you need to know his weakness, your weakness, and what you're trying to succeed. Your ultimate goal, okay, through all of this is to have better friends and better businesses. Okay, that's what you want in the end. Okay, you can build each other's lives, but you have to do it the right way. Okay, so let's say, for example, somebody has an idea. Okay, they're getting a patent. And there's a perfect example because my friend in Santa Cruz is getting a patent on a business. And he was asking me, hey, do you want to go in on this? And I just said, no. I said, not at all. And he's like, why not? You can do this. I said, no. I said, look, this is very clearly your idea. You are the guy who came up with this idea. You're the guy with the experience with this business. This is your baby. This is your baby. Own that thing. Don't let anybody take it from you. And he looked at me kind of like shocked. It took him about 2 weeks to figure out what I was really saying. And I can tell the penny dropped. Now I've seen him again. And he's looking at me like he realized. Here's what I didn't realize. Here's what came out afterwards. And this is personal, but this is the way it is he said to me later, about a week after I said that, we had like a long discussion about it, right? He said, my friend who's rich, I know he would try to steal my business. Okay? So what guys do is they don't realize they can have trustworthy friends. And they don't realize they can do things on their own. So what they do is they throw it out there and offer the help. They offer it to everybody because they don't have the confidence. And then the friends who don't have the confidence to do it either, they see an opportunity to kind of get a leg up because this other guy's going to do it, right? So he's ultimately responsible, right? And they also are not respecting that. And also, too, they're not respecting themselves, too, and understanding the way things are. I'm telling you right now, as a friend, here's what you do. Here's the way you do it, man. And everybody will tell you, I'm telling you right now, if you want to be a happy entrepreneur with entrepreneur friends, here's what you do, is you say, that's your baby. And you know what? I would love to help you with that because I'm your friend. As a friend, I would love to help you. Now, of course, that has limits because you have your life, you have the things you want to do, right? And you have your thing that you're working on, right? Your dream, right? What's because here's the thing. Even if, as a guy, if you sleaze in on somebody else's thing, you are not doing your dream. Go back and watch Steve Jobs' speech at Stanford. It's fucking fantastic. Don't waste your life living someone else's life. You want to live your own life. You need to live your own life. And that's that's all basically about, after Red Pill, that's what it's all about, is finding that life and living that life, right? So this is a kind of a way to sabotage it because as a friend, okay, if you help him as a friend, here's the benefit. You will feel great about yourself because you will clearly draw a line between certain ideas, okay? And you'll say, you'll think about it. Just think about it. Wisdom. That is his idea. Like, you'll be like, what a dumb fuck I was. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to even think that's my idea. That's his idea. And he's going to do that idea. And I would love to help my friend do that idea. And if it fails or succeeds, That's his thing, right? I would love to see my friend succeed. And what you're doing is you're not going out there and saying, hey, I'm going to skip work. I'm going to do this to help his business because it's my business. I'm going to do it with him. And it just gives you a peace of mind. And when you do help him and he does succeed, it is a beautiful fucking thing, man. I've helped many friends succeed this way because I don't think I own their business. I just say, hey, that's your thing. I would love to help you. And it's great to see them succeed. I have a friend in Bangkok, and it's great to see he's doing so many cool things, and they're his things. And I learned this through hard experience, like a million mistakes, right? But when you do that, and then when you come to your friend, so let's say your friend has an idea, and you say, look, that's your baby. If the friend is smart, okay, he's going to sit there and think about it. And he's going to realize, and because this is the biggest blue pill and red pill deal for men, is that most of your friends are trying to steal from you and just trying to be lazy in business and in life. And if you want to have friends, you can't let that happen. Not because you're going to find perfect people out there. It's because you want to have long-term real friendships. So you have to kind of not let that dark side of people go. And also in yourself, right? It's about managing that. It's not about finding perfect people. It's realizing people are imperfect, yourself included. And it's how to manage that so that you have long-term success. And in the end of the day, when you have good friends and you all have your things and you're working on them, it is a beautiful thing because you can trust each other because they know where the line is. And they also have the balls to say this is their thing. Because that's the thing, guys. A lot of guys, they think they want to be entrepreneurs. They don't have the balls to say, this is my thing. I'm doing this. I'm taking the responsibility. I might be homeless. This might not work out. I'm going to, because working on a business is not, I'm not even saying it's recommended to do it, okay? You know what I mean? I'm not saying like entrepreneurship is some big thing. I was telling some guy recently, just as a total great side note for 80% of men who are not entrepreneurs, I was telling one of my friends, and I'm going to tell you straight up right now, he's a good Ronin guy. He was talking about entrepreneurship for like fucking 5 years to me. I finally said to him, I said, look, you have a great job. Every man is jealous of how much money you make and how little work you do. He goes, yeah, but I'm bored, but I said, listen, you're not a fucking entrepreneur. I said, wake the fuck up. You're like in your mid-30s. You've never started a business. You have no aptitude for it. You have no talent for it. You are going to fail. But you are very good at making a lot of money in a great job that's easy. And you can keep that money and you can be a super successful guy. You can be the guy with the gold chains and the money and the retirement and live wherever you want. You have it. You just don't. It's like that song, Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls, And I said, look, he said, but you do it. I said, look, I had my first business when I was like 11 years old. My friends were all getting jobs and I was collecting cans and newspapers and talking my mom into driving me to the recycling center, and that's what I was doing. I remember I got like $23 for like a ton of newspapers. We filled the old LTD up to the top. The shocks were just pushing the thing down. Trunk was full. We didn't have a room to sit. We had papers in front of us on top of our heads. We're like driving to the thing. It's like it was totally illegal, but in the 70s you could do this, It was ridiculous. It was so funny. I wish we had a picture. It'd be a classic picture. Like our heads just barely, it was like telescopes. We're just barely looking out of these newspapers, right? We got there and just took them all out because we wanted to get every last thing in there. And that's what I was doing as a kid. I was just a natural entrepreneur. And I'm not saying that it is not some fucking, do not dream of being an entrepreneur. No, fuck that. You're an entrepreneur, you're not. And just do what you are. Don't go living someone else's life, man. You are who you are. There is absolutely nothing wrong with being a super successful guy. Red pill dude who saves a lot of money, retires early, travels the world, fucks tons of chicks, stays in killer shape, has a great life, travels the world, does whatever he wants, is free. That's the ultimate goal, right? It's the ultimate goal. And not being, it's not being an entrepreneur. I would say not being a slave, not being tied down, right? Those are the things, right? And how you do it is just how you do it. There's a million ways to do it. You might inherit money. You might, then you gotta, most guys, here's fucking how stupid guys are. They want to be free. They want to be safe. And they invest, like, I know a guy, he invested a few bucks in crypto, turns into 10 million. And then he's like, basically, what do I want? I got to start a business. I'm like, dude, wake up. It's done. You were done. You're done for life. You're done. You now have everything you need. You need to change everything about the way you think. Because the reason why you wanted to be an entrepreneur was, people talk all this shit about being entrepreneurs like it's fulfilling. Fuck that. They're talking shit. They wanted to have a lot of money and be free, right? That was the main goal. And there's many ways to do that, right? And so once you make a lot of money in crypto, you really have to reevaluate everything and say, wait a second, wake up. Just every morning, like I should wake up in the mirror, get a boxing glove and hit himself in the face until he realizes he's now in a new position. He's a wealthy guy. He never has to work. He has to change everything about his thinking. It's time. This is when you got to join Unblackmailable. When you get to this point, like, it's so hard to change these thoughts. Like, do not miss these kind of opportunities. I will work through with you. I don't care what the change is. This is one thing I'm fucking good at. I am really good at looking at the way where you are now and saying, you need to change your whole fucking life. Like, it is time to change friends, thinking, location, and not in some erratic way, but based on reality. And you're going to be like, oh my God. Because this is what happens. This is when I learned this, by the way, going up the social status and down the social status. As I got rich, as I got poor, as I got rich, as I got girls, I learned that it's so difficult to change your own goals, mind. It's difficult to change everything, but you're changing everything at once. You need to have that switch where you're like, oh, it's time to change everything again. New clothes. I'm in a new position. Like, my life is different now. I'm not going to hang on to my mohawk. I'm not going to hang on to my leather jacket. Not just physically, but in my mind. I'm going to change everything. Because what happens is once you're wealthy, dude, you got whole new problems. Now you do have people trying to steal from you, right? And now you do have your own human nature that can make you lose everything. And now you do have a legacy, that you can do something with, right? There's a lot of things to think about. Clothing, friendships, how you sleep, where you go, every fucking thing. There's a different way of living. It's almost like being a different creature, like being a mosquito or being a fucking bear. It's like life is, you hibernate in the winter. Now you don't hibernate in the winter, right? It's like totally fucking different, okay? So when it comes to entrepreneurship, don't let anybody take your thing. But when somebody has something, help them with your pure heart, but with limits, knowing you have your life, right? You've got your thing, okay? So there's limits, there's clear understanding of where you are, not based on what I'm saying now, based on what you think after you implement these ideas and look honestly at your life. You will know the answer to each question once you understand this, right? Now, I'm not saying, can you not make money with friends? You can make money with friends, okay? You absolutely can make money. So, for example, my idea is, dream house. Okay, let's say, for example, my idea is dream house. You're not a real estate agent. You could help me buy that dream house and get paid. See, so there's things you can do together that make sense, right? There's absolutely nothing wrong with a real estate agent selling helping a friend get their dream house, right? So that's where the line is you already doing what you want to do. You're on your path. And it just so happens that you can do a business that makes total sense because you can do the most for your friend, right? Because you can listen to him, understand him, and you can really, where your skills are, and he knows where, and what he needs, what he really needs more than anybody else. And you care more than everybody else. So you can really say, hey, look, you don't want this fucking house. This house is not what you want, right? You need this is not because, no, this house, let's look at another. And then, you might not make as much money. It might take longer, but you can help him in a friendship way and make a very fair amount of money, right? But that's based on the fact that it's like you have a cargo train and it has an open space. There is nothing wrong You know, you're going to Chicago. He has stuff going to Chicago. It is a good thing to say, hey, I got a fucking train going to Chicago. Empty car Wednesday. How much shit you got? 40-foot container? Perfect. Stick it on my train, get it there by 8 a.m. Fucking done. Here's how much it is. He's like, awesome. You know, that is what I'm talking about. You can do stuff with people in that sense. But don't do the other things I said, right? Don't do the other things from both sides. So and also too, to the 80% of guys that are not entrepreneurs, is banish the idea that an entrepreneur is some magical fucking Peter Pan fairy character that you need to do. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Society is always going to do that. And you know what? I'll tell you something. Influencers love this one. Because they're like, fuck the 9 to 5, man. Just be this and give me some money, man. And then, you know, they're basically like, what they're doing is very Machiavellian. Because they're saying to you is like, be an entrepreneur, but they know you're not going to do it because they're asking for money for their entrepreneur thing. And so they're not only not asking you for help as a friend, they're like tricking you based on your own deepest, let's say your deepest desire is to be an entrepreneur. Let's say you are that 20%. They're saying to you, you can become an entrepreneur by supporting me being an entrepreneur. It's like, no. It's like, no, man. That's a bastardization. The thing is, the reality is this. It is a very good thing to have friends that are entrepreneurs if you are an entrepreneur. Because you can watch them. You can help them, right? You can, but you know, you got a lot on your plate already, right? But you have to know what you're doing, why you're doing it. And then it is very good to have entrepreneur friends, right? But it's like they're going to help you and you're going to help them. Because, you know, like with my entrepreneur friends, we get together and we're like, fuck, listen, everybody online and in my life tells me this bullshit with taxes and this and that and patents and this, whatever it is that you're really dealing with. And they'll say, man, I've gone through this a million times. And entrepreneurs will give you hardcore advice. You know, like one of my friends, entrepreneurs, he was great. He said, look, I was trying to get a patent on something in China and I wanted a worldwide patent. And he said, look, man, he said, this is his advice. I'm not saying it's the right advice, but it was the right advice for me. He said, listen, worldwide patents are fucking almost impossible. Okay. In every country, it's basically impossible for you. Even Procter & Gamble has a difficult time. It takes a huge amount of money, a huge amount of lawyers. He says, fuck the dream of a patent worldwide. He says, you can do a patent in America, but they can just make it in China. Because there's no patent in China, right? You have to get a patent in China. You got a patent in America. You got a patent in India. He says, listen, what you need to do is do it the way Elon Musk does it. You need to make the product, make it the best, and just make it faster than everybody else and be one step ahead of them. So they copy you, but they're copying your 2170 batteries, you got 4680s. They're copying your 4680s, you got structural battery pack. They're copying your structural battery pack, you got full castings. And what that mindset means, is that you have to be okay with somebody copying you. That's not easy to do. Because we get our ego, like, no, he's copying me. It's like, no, it doesn't matter. Every successful entrepreneur, it's like as long as you're 100th of a second faster in the Olympics, you get the gold medal. You get the gold medal. That guy copied you, that guy cheated, doesn't matter. You're 100th of a second faster. You got the fucking gold medal. It's in stone. It's done. You need to know as an entrepreneur, bunch of sleazebags going to be trying to take you down. You got to be 100th of a second faster and be happy with that. See, if you're just a loser, no one's going to copy you. See, homeless guys, nobody's out there fucking recording them talk and copying. It's just, but when you're kicking ass, people are going to copy you, right? And you have to, if you're a loser, you won't understand that. Successful guys know, especially innovative, successful guys know that a bunch of losers are going to try to copy them. And a bunch of good people are going to do it. But you got to say, hey, man, I got more in my tank. I'm not a one-trick pony. Because I'll end on this. The reason why guys don't like guys to copy them is because they don't have enough talent. See, for me, I got endless talent. I could if somebody copies, when I had supplement business, some fucking guy got in and tried to copy me. And I just said, fuck, I'm not going to do this business. I was already too deep in. It was going to be too much legal shit. I just said, I'm going to start a real estate business. And I did. I said, fuck, I don't even want to deal with this shit. I got endless talent. And I went in and I was super successful in my next business because I just let it go. I just totally let it go. This guy was a total fucking scumbag. Okay. Straight up loser. And he was rich. He had made a bunch of money. He sold it to VeriSign. He had a bunch of tech cash and he was a fucking sleazebag. Straight up dickhead. But I just thought, am I going to focus on this? Am I going to let this guy, I've never mentioned this guy, okay, because I let it go. But I want you to know that it's real. That's why I'm telling you about this guy. It's like, it's real. It's like guys will fuck you over. Guys with bad intentions. You know, even guys with money too. Don't think because they don't have money, they don't see a young entrepreneur has got a great idea. They will fuck you over, right? But you got to be okay with that. Because you're like, hey man, no matter, for me, this is my mindset as an entrepreneur. No matter what happens, I'm in a fucking, if it's 1,000 times, I'm going to come at 2001. And it's going to be a killer idea that nobody, you know what I mean? It's going to be, I'm going to fucking kill it in the next one. It's like, let it go. Let it go. And I'm the same, my mindset's the same with chicks too. It's like none of them mean shit. I'm just going on. I'm going to get another chick. It's going to be fucking great. And it always works out. It always works out. So don't let that part of yourself pull you down. You know, and don't let other people's like weaknesses pull you down, right? And if you're not an entrepreneur, the reason why this episode's so important is because your friends are gonna be one. And don't be this guy who's like lurking. You know, be the friend who's like, hey man, I'm here for you. I'll help you. I'm right there for you. And I'll tell you, I should end on this last one, is the guy Jason that I interviewed who rode his bike out to Hangzhou in China. That fucking episode is great. I'll put it in the comments below. Absolutely mind-shattering fucking entrepreneurship, never giving up. This guy's a fucking gem, and he's a very good friend of mine. That guy, I'm telling you right now, was the most supportive of my company in China. And he never wanted anything. He's the one who taught me this. He's the one who taught me. He was always there for me. My first night when we started the business, the very first night, he was sitting there. And he's like in the middle of it. Most people would have been trying to sleaze in. Because here it is. We were all excited. We had a great idea. And he was just like, you guys, man, this is fucking great. You guys got it, man. He was right there. I never forgot it. I never forgot that guy. Not just as a friend. He's a great guy too. But because of his attitude towards my business. He never wanted anything. And the thing is, the reason why he could afford to do it is A, he had his own business. But he knew. But B, is that he knew. See, here's the beauty in not sleazing in on people. The beauty is that you will no longer waste a lot of energy wondering, is this mine? Can I help? You'll just go to yourself, all by yourself. Let your intuition will know whether it's your idea or his idea. And you'll know if you don't have the balls and you're like scratching out trying to get someone to help you, but you're going to fuck them over later. Like, don't let yourself become that guy. And don't let yourself get used by that guy. Because the same guy can be, we all have these weaknesses, man. It's not like one guy, but you're letting the other person do it, right? Don't let the other guy do it, and don't let yourself. Have a clear mindset. Be a man about business. And have an open heart and a big smile. And you're going to make a lot more money. And you'll have a lot more friends. All right, thanks for listening.